Hello, my friends. John LaRuffa here with another straight up solo. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at Atlantis Exodus. All right, let's get started. Okay, folks, and as usual, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. If you have, I do really appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Now, what is going on in this game? Well, this game is played in 5 rounds. There are 3 scoring phases and then the final scoring. And the way you play the game is that you are going to be placing down your king on the inner square or circle first, okay? When you place it down, you get the benefits of the space that are printed. And by the way, this is the 4th round here out of 5, so I've already played through a bunch. And you'd also get any workers that are not really workers, they're inhabitants, right? They're workers, intellectuals, and scientists. These are citizens of Atlantis, all right? And they're all trying to escape. So you're trying to get them somewhere else, settled, moved on boats, etc. You're trying to get them out of here, okay? And what you're doing is you're going to place your king down, and you're going to take whatever's on that space. And if next to that space, like if I go down here later, there is a worker there, I also get that. Now, there are these walls that divide the spaces. So once you place down the first turn, the second turn in the actual time, you can, or in the round, you go down and you can go across, but you can't break these walls. So it gives you a couple of other options. In the solo mode, you have these 2 blockers, which you cannot take those spaces, okay? So they stop you from going through or going to those spaces. But basically, you're playing it down, and you're going to take 2 actions, all right? And the actions you can take are to move your priest along this track, gaining the rewards that you land on or pass, and there's a bunch of different rewards. You can train a settler, and that's a big part of the game where you train one of these little meeples by spending these knowledge books of certain colors. You move them down, and they get better. So, for instance, I could train this one worker. If I had a brown book, I could train him into a day laborer. And if I could train him again, if I had a coin, 2 brown books, and a white book, I could train him into being a farmer. And so there's a bunch of different things you can do to train people into different ways. And then what you do is, after you've trained them, or just if they're up here, you can spend an action to send them away. And when you send them away, that's when you get the reward for the space that they're on. Now, you can send any settler you want away to be settled in these little houses over here, okay? But you can also send them away to do other things. So if I send them away on a ship, I could put anybody on a ship, and that would allow them to be present in all of the scoring rounds that happen. When you send them to these houses over here, that's how you basically score your points, which I'll talk about in a minute. You can also send them to spaces that need a specific guy. For instance, this one needs a craftsman, so I sent him to this workshop. And what happens is that activates that building. And I'll tell you about that in a second. So you can send them there. You can also send specific workers to these knowledge cards, okay? And the knowledge cards are up here, and these are basically end game scoring abilities. So for instance, just to take a look at this is the aqueduct. In order to get this card, I'd have to have 1 engineer and 1 chemist. If I did, I could send both of them away to get this card, and at the end of the game, I would get 3 points for each full row that I have filled up. And there's all sorts of different ones of those, as you can imagine, that give you points for different combinations of things. Now, the other thing you could do with these meeples is you can, like if you send the counselor to a spot, the counselor would allow you to draw a ship from the ship file over here, or a random one. And these come about if you didn't get them in the rondel, which I'll tell you about in a second. Or it's not really a rondel, pardon me, the moving action selection, because it's, I guess it's sort of a rondel, but anyway. What else can we do? So we also can make a stonemason that allows us to get these cards over here for the towers. And just so you know, the towers are usually placed above the board, but so that you can see it all, I kind of moved it all. I transposed it over here so you would be able to see it. And these cards lets you do a one-time immediate bonus when you get them, and then a once per round action you can do that doesn't cost an action. All right. The other thing you can do is you can make a builder, and when you make a builder, that's allows you to claim these building tiles that came off this area, or some. You can also look to, if there's none over here, you can draw from the stack too. And so the training part is a big deal. You're going to also score points every time you send away a settler, and most of the time you're going to advance this priest down the track too. When the priest lands on this, you get to choose one of these endgame monuments scoring points or buildings, and those will score for specific conditions. So for instance, you can see I've got, you know, 2 yellow, a green, and a blue. If I was to get this at the end of the game, that would give me 2 points for every blue like this that I have. But if I'm over here and I can get this one right here, it would give me 2 for every yellow. So there's ways to do things like that. And these also sometimes, like for instance, this one says I get 7 points if I have 3 of the same color surrounding this building. Then there's this type of building over here, which you play over in these areas right here, and that gives you basically a one-time bonus of certain things, and it can only go in that spot. All right. So that's all that you can do. Oh, and then there's ways you can get these influence cards when you land on certain spots like this and this, and these are basically just big, super-powered action cards. Okay. Finally, sometimes you might gain favors, and when you gain favors, they count as extra actions that you can take in your turn. So let me show you around, including scoring, so you can figure out, kind of see how that goes, and I'll explain that too. And that'll give you a good feel of how this game feels to play. All right, so what am I trying to do? Well, I have a couple of workers up here and some other guys over here. It would be nice to get more buildings, but I need this building especially, and this one if I could get it. So what I'll probably do is I will go here. Let's see, could I walk over to that spot? I could. So you can kind of plan out what you're going to do. I can go to this spot, down to this spot, and then over to that spot and get all that stuff. And that would be helpful. I think that's what I'm going to do. So here I go. I get a coin, which I've got an abundance of coins. I probably don't really need that anymore, but I need the other things that I want to accomplish. And I'm going to grab 2 workers, all right? A yellow and a brown. I got that because of what I placed my guy on. Now, 2 actions. Well, I need to get some books. I need to do some training. I need to send people away because I'm about to score. So I think I'm going to do some sending away. And I'm really trying to get to this right here, this one. So I'm going to take this building, which I could take because I have, oh, you know what? I just realized I made a mistake in an earlier round. I can't take that building. I have to fill this first. So I can send someone away, but he's not going to be able to score right now for me at the end. It's a little bit too late for that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to send him here, and that gets me 1 point. I just want to fill this in more than anything else. And then I'm also going to send this guy away, and it's getting me 1 more point. So that was 2 actions. All right. Now that I've filled up my residences, I can now build another one, which is good. Next time I send somebody away, I'll be able to choose from one of these 3. Okay, so those are my 2 actions. Let's go to the second move. I'm going to move probably here, although I really could use some more books. I am going to move here, though. So we go here. I get this workshop tile, and I get this worker. Put the worker up here. This workshop tile. I need to put him in a spot that's going to move this priest because I've got a long way to go there. So I'm going to put this over here, move the priest 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. I crossed one of these. This gives me another turn, extra turn thing. So I have 2 extra actions I'm banking right now. And so the first thing I want to do is, let's see. How can I get some more? Well, I'll do this. I'm going to move this here, and then I get my choice of things. This gives me 2 points per workshop. Is that a workshop? No, that's not. That's one of these other, those kind of buildings. So it's not the greatest. And I kind of block myself in. I'll just get this one, 2 for every blue. And I'm going to put this right here. I wish I could get, I guess I could put it down here to get some more books too. And I think I'm going to do that. So I'll put it down here. It gives me 2 of these white books. And when I get the white book, I also, because of this, oh no, that's only when you get it on here. Shoot. Well, I got the white books anyway. So what normally happens is if I get a white book from this area up here, when I place my king, I also get a purple book. So we've moved. I have another 1, if not more moves. I guess what I could do is I could train a settler or an intellectual to be a scholar. So we'll do that. And then I have 2 more moves that I could take. This would get me closer. I think I'm going to spend both of these 2 moves to just move him. And I'm by no means great at this game. I kind of finish in the middle of the solo beat your own score areas, but that's what we're going to do. So there is round number 2. Now round 3, I'm going to travel through here. I think I could do that. You know what I realized? I may not be able to do that. I didn't look that up, but I'm pretty sure I have to go down here instead. I think my whole move got goofed because I couldn't. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm demonstrating what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to pretend as though I went, instead of drawing these workers out and going here for the coin, in order to make this work, I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to, oh my gosh, I can't back this up. All right, guys. So basically what's going to happen is I was here, and in the interest of trying to figure this out, this guy can't go to that space, but I think I can still move through that space to go over here, because you can't be blocked. So just let me see. Those are moved clockwise. I usually don't get myself into this mess. They're blocked for the first year and cannot be occupied by their kings. So that just means they're blocked. So they can't be occupied. So I'm assuming I can move through this. Okay, so I'm going to move through this. I'll go here. I will get that purple book. I'm sorry, get the white book, so that it also comes with the purple book because of this workshop. And then I will take this action right here, which is I can choose a card from here. I'm going to choose this card. I put it over there. I immediately get 2 points. All right, and then I can settle my intellectual here to turn on this ability. So for my first action in this round, I will settle the intellectual scholar. That means I get 1 point and 1 movement on the priest track, which I do. So I draw one of these super-powered cards. And this tells me I can spend 1 to 3 coins to get 2 to 6 points. Perfect. Well, I've got a bunch of coins, so I'm going to do that right now. But that is a second move. So my second move will be to spend this and get 6 points. All right. That was lucky. And now I could also use, in one tower, you can use 1 ability. I'm going to use this ability this turn. Instead of getting more workers, I'm going to do this to move this forward. Okay, that's what I use for the round. All right, now I've taken my 3 turns of actions. So now we go to the scoring. Now the way the scoring works is you look at, in this case, I'm scoring round land number 2. You look at all the areas here, and if you don't have a residence with people in it, you automatically lose the game in the solo game. Okay, that's part of the solo game only. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this area and the number of ships. And for the worker I have the least number of, I get 3. Everybody else, I get 1. So I'm going to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I get 7 points. All right. So that is the interim, second scoring round of the game. All right. Then you do a reset. All right. So the reset will basically be the following. When you're doing this, this is for a solo game now. So you will first take away any of these buildings that are still out here, and they go into the center pool, which you can use later if you want to buy from or to get from. You leave the workers. So the workers don't get refilled in the solo game. They do get refilled in the multiplayer, but in the solo game, it's only what was seeded at the beginning, okay? So we've removed those. We removed this. So we cycle some cards. I add cards to these stacks. And they don't give you as many of those top level ones, so you don't add those, okay? And then I will replace replace buildings on here for the final time, for the final round, according to the spots where they go. Okay, 2 of these. Whoops, not these. These are monuments. These. All right, and then the last thing I will do is move these wheels 2 times for the inner, 2 times for the middle. So 1, 2, and that moves this guy 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and that moves this guy 1, 2. So those spaces are blocked for this round, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to get that tile, but at least I can get this one. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do it one more time. You do the 3rd scoring round, and then the game ends at 5 rounds. You score any like end game points for these things and other conditions, etc. And then you compare your score over here to this stratification. 120 would be the max. Like you get better than that, you're awesome. I usually finish someplace in the the healer area, but that's where it is. Okay, so that is what you're doing in this game. That's pretty comprehensive. That pretty much handles everything you're going to do. Now, let me go ahead and tell you what I think about it. So Atlantis Exodus, from a solo standpoint, is one of those games that I say is greater than the sum of its parts. And what I mean by that is, taken individually, none of the things that you saw me doing are anything really super novel or super duper exciting or anything like that. But when you put them all together, it makes for a very enjoyable game. Very enjoyable solo game, in fact. There is a solid amount of, I have only a few amount of turns to do all these things that I want to do, and there's no way I'm going to get them done as fast as I want. And there's no way I'm going to get everything done that I want. To be able to score at the end, there's a couple of other things that you score for. So you score, first of all, if you have unsettled settlers, you lose 3 points for either of those. So the more workers and settlers you take on, the more you have to figure out how you're going to settle them. Okay, so that takes actions. Second of all, for every full up vertical column, you score 1 point. For every horizontal row, you score 2 points. So you want to fill your board as best you can. And again, you have those monument tiles. You might have other bonuses from other cards, and then you have those bonuses from those knowledge cards. So you're going to try to push your way into things that maximize those. Taken again, together, it's all really, really fun. It's very tight. It's just a good, solid Euro feeling game. It has a couple of mechanics I really like, which is you go, you cover something up, you get something, you move to this, you put your worker on this space, you get this and some associated things. But then there's the action of, well, I've got 2 actions to do, and what do I want to do? Well, you can always move that priest, but that always feels like it's a little bit of a I don't know, like didn't I plan for better than this kind of thing? But then again, in order to get to that second tier of those bonus buildings, you really got to move that priest a long way down the track. And so there's that. Then there's the ships of, well, they're going to score in every single round. So the more ships I put down, the better they are. And also, I didn't talk about this, but the ships have different icons on them. So the more different variety icons, the more you'll score in points. And then there's the cool stuff about making my workers better. And then when I send them away, I get better rewards. But I have to do that. I have to get certain books. And how do I get those books, etc. This game just has all the good, solid, middleweight Euro feel that I'm looking for in a solo game. The turning of the board and things like that, that's okay. That's fine. I don't really find that all that exciting. Or it's not good or bad or otherwise. It just is, right? It's not a novelty to me at this point with a game like that. It's not something you're like, oh man, this is moving here and there, and what do I do? Because it doesn't turn every single turn. It only turns once a round. So you can basically, unless you're a goofball like I am in the beginning, you can see, well, I'm going to start here, and then the next time I'm going to go down immediately, and I have this, and the next time I'm going to go down immediately, and I have this. I don't believe you could do what I was trying to do, which is go down over and then, or sorry, go over first, then down. I don't think that's possible. And so that like rondelle-esque movement thing is pretty cool because it just kind of changes up the bonus stuff you get. It's almost like an income turn more than anything else. It's like getting income. But then you're trying to really squeeze what you can out of these actions, and you can get more actions, and there's just lots of good stuff here. So ultimately speaking, if you're looking for a good solid middleweight Euro game where I think, again, the sum is greater than the parts, this is a really good one to have. I really like it. I like it, and also it's very quick. Once you understand the flow of the game, I think you can get this game done in 40 minutes, okay? 5 rounds, 40 minutes. That's how I feel. I mean, and just in getting to this point in the video, it didn't take me very long at all to get into round number 4. Just kind of just work through it, get moving. And, you know, the only thing that would slow you down, I suppose, is there are a lot of iconography on the cards and on the buildings and things. But luckily, every single one of those is shown clearly in the rule book. So you do not have to do any guessing. It just might take you a little bit to learn it all. But you can always look it up, and I appreciate that. I like when when you have all these icons. I like when each individual building just tells you what it is, versus you get a list of all what these icons mean, and you have to jumble it together to figure out what does this multi-iconed card or building mean. That to me, that speeds it up when you have this. The solo effort is beat your own score, and it's just got those blockers, and it changes ever so slightly the way the board resets. But that's it. It's really, there's nothing, there's no automa, there's no heavy-handed, I got to try to decide what it's going to do and how it's going to block. It just moves according to that reset tile. Very simple. So high marks for me on this one. I really enjoy it. I'm going to continue to enjoy trying to optimize this puzzle more and more. It is definitely a puzzle-like optimization game for sure. To score big, you really got to squeeze a lot of juice out of the turns that you're taking here. And I think that's cool, out of the actions you're taking. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate everybody. And whatever you do in the future, I really hope you have a fantastic time doing it. Take it easy.